Well, everyone, they just put out another tornado warning, and this time for Butler County. You can see the cell right here. Excuse me, the tornado warning does not include Hamilton, but it does include the northwestern corner of Butler County, so West College Corner, Oxford, included in that tornado warning. We'll take another look at it here. So you can see the cell right here. This is the heavy rain, and again, does not include Hamilton. It does not include Brookville, but it's right here in the northwest corner of Butler County. As we zoom in, what you're going to see is that it's just a typical looking heavy thunderstorm cell. But if we use velocity and look at it in a little bit more detail here, you can see what we talk about all the time. There is the green and red that are juxtaposed. So here's Oxford. Okay, this is Route 27. Here's Morgan Township in the southwest corner of Butler County. And right here near Riley Township is the green, the red. And when you see those two juxtaposed like that, that is the indication of rotation and the possibility of a tornado. There has not been a tornado touching down in this report. It is just based on radar indicated rotation. And so we're watching it very, very closely. Okay, so we're looking again here at Butler County. If we take a look at the motion of these storms, you can see that particular storm moving northeast very, very quickly right there. So it's moving north and east into the northwestern part of Butler County. And over the last couple of hours, that moved into the area and it's spun up. What happens is as a thunderstorm moves, oftentimes it interacts with its environment. It begins to import rotation. That rotation becomes concentrated, and then when it spins up enough, a tornado warning is issued because there seems to be enough rotation for not only rotation in the storm, but for a funnel to form and touch down, and that's what's happening here. So the northern parts of Morgan Township, south of Oxford, excuse me, really closer to the Riley area is this circulation that could cause a tornado in Butler County. So the tornado warning in effect until 11:30 p.m. It is moving to the north and east. So if you are in Millville, if you are in Oxford, if you're in West College Corner, if you're in any communities around the Oxford area, you want to be taking cover immediately. Again, this is another one of those. It's a radar indicated rotation. That rotation could be sufficient for there to be a severe thunderstorm warning. And tell you what, we will just ignore that and come back. That's the Reds. They will get to their information a little bit later. You've got the rotation right here in the western part of Butler County. And again, that's moving to the north-northeast. Most of that should stay just to the east of the city of Oxford. And then, of course, Oxford is where Miami University is also. But just in case, it moves more northerly than northeasterly. The best course of action now from Riley and Riley Township north to Oxford, all the way north to the northern county line, is to make sure you take cover immediately because this is a rotating thunderstorm. A tornado could touch down very quickly, seemingly from your point of view, without warning as that storm moves to the north and east. And overall, we are definitely talking about a good gradient here. Now remember, the red indicates winds that are blowing away from the radar. So the radar is over here in Wilmington. So red here indicates the winds going this way. Green, winds blowing toward the radar. And so when you get this in this motion, that completes the circulation right there, and that tells you that there's rotation in that thunderstorm. Now, what I'm going to do is walk over here to the computer and start looping this so we can see the movement of it just a little bit better. And to do that, I've got to dump out of the program. It'll take me a second or so. And here we go. Okay, so all right, so it doesn't seem like it wants to loop, but if I take and move it back manually, what you'll see is you'll see the movement of this storm, and that'll give you an idea of which way it is going to go. We're talking about essentially a thunderstorm that's moving north and east to the western part of Butler County. There is another view of it. This is not the velocity. We were just looking at the velocity. This is the rainfall rate. You see the heavy rainfall, torrential rainfall from Oxford down to around Riley. A few showers as far south as Morgan Township, and overall the northwest corner of Butler County under that tornado warning. The tornado warning in effect until 11:30. So just to help you orient it a little bit better, that includes areas at the state line along Route 27, down through Oxford, down through Millville, all the way down, and does not go all the way to the southern part of the county, but it includes the northwestern quarter of the county. So the northern parts of Morgan Township just touched by that warning. Riley and Riley Township, right in the southern part of that warning. Oxford in the warning. It does not include Hamilton, does not include Middletown at this time, and that storm is expected to move to the north and east. There's a wider view of it, and what we'll look at here is the lightning. So there's plenty of lightning. That means there's plenty of thunder. There's torrential rainfall with this, so anybody that may be out driving will have to go slower. And in addition, when you have a torrential rainfall like this, oftentimes it can obscure other stuff. Just the sound of it can obscure maybe the sound of the approaching increasing winds. And so it's really, really best to take cover immediately with a storm like this. The storms move fairly slowly. The rainfall is fairly heavy. The lightning is vivid, and the thunder is quite loud and almost continuous around that part of Butler County. So there's the storm that they've issued the tornado warning for. We can once again zoom in a little bit here, and what you'll see is the heavy rainfall here from Oxford down into the Riley area. And if we take away the precipitation and just look at the velocity, the storm, you see the bright green right there. Here's the red. So, and now the radar just updated here. And so the storm is moving toward the north and east. Looks like the center of this, where the possibility of a tornado is, will stay just to the east of Oxford. Now, exactly how far east, based on this map scale, is very difficult to describe and very difficult to predict. And that's why when we say, hey, look, this is heading toward Oxford, if you live in the vicinity of Oxford, you best take cover now. You don't put yourself in harm's way. And of course, if there's any damage or any photographs you get after the danger is past, we don't want you to put yourself in danger to get us a photograph. You can send it to us and let us know. But overall, so Morgan Township, not in any danger right now. The northern part of Riley Township is still involved with the circulation here, and the circulation is right there. We're going to keep an eye on it and let you know. I'm going to keep on the air here until the tornado warning has ended, and let's see if there's any update on it. No, so far, no update on that tornado warning. And again, the bright green spot right there is where the circulation would be. So we've got Oxford right here, south of Oxford, moving to the northeast. The center of the circulation should stay just east of the city of Oxford. So it will cross Route 27, kind of south and southeast of Oxford, and then head off into the north central part of Butler County. And we can take a little bit closer look here. I'll zoom in by hand, and we will try to get a look at some of the other communities to help you get an idea of exactly where this is. We'll do a little box zoom. And as we move in here, now I can give you a few more names. You can see, so again, it's right up in here. So here's Riley. This is all Riley Township. If you're in Peoria and Butler County, you're not in any danger. You're not in danger in Newkirk. McGonigal, doesn't look like you're in danger because the circulation that would cause the tornado is right up there to the north and east of Riley. Maybe I'll pull that map down a little bit more, give you a little bit better idea where that is. So again, here we go. Pull it down and zoom out a little bit, and you'll see that the circulation that could possibly cause the tornado is right here, okay, on near Stillwell Beckett Road, right in this area. Okay, so Oxford is here. Here's the circulation. Stillwell Beckett Road is to the west of Route 27 in Butler County. Here's Route 27 that heads up toward Oxford. Here's McGonigal. So from McGonigal up to Oxford is Route 27. To the west of that is Stillwell Beckett Road, and right here is that circulation we're talking about that may be able to cause a tornado to spin up and touch down. That's why they've issued the tornado warning for that. So that is moving to the north and east. It will cross Route 27 north of McGonigal, but south of Oxford. So if you live along Route 27 between Oxford and McGonigle, that's where there could be a tornado. You should be taking cover immediately. Let me go ahead and turn off the precipitation here for a second, and we can get a better idea of what is going on with, first of all, I'll tell you what. Let me take a look at debris detection. We'll see if there are any indications that a tornado has touched down. Okay. Again, we saw the circulation was right here along Stillwell Beckett Road. Okay, right up in here is where you would see a debris detection, and there's no debris signature. You'd see something that looks like this, but kind of in a circle around where the tornado touched down. So we have no indication, even though there's a tornado warning in effect for that part of Butler County, we have no indication that a tornado has touched down in Butler County. We just have radar evidence that there's enough circulation for a tornado to have touched down there, but we don't see any evidence that that is the case, okay? And again, let me orient you. Here's Oxford, here's Riley. Route 27 is right here, and this is Stillwell Beckett Road where we last saw the circulation. I'll go back here, we'll put the velocity back on, and what you'll see when we go back to the velocity is where the circulation has moved, and it looks like the circulation is beginning to break up just a little bit here. I'm going to zoom out a little bit, and it's not as visible or as distinct as it was a little bit earlier. Again, Oxford here, here's Route 27, and you can see this is the circulation right here to the south and east of Oxford. Before, it was a distinct area. You could really see it, and now it's kind of muddled, and there's the latest radar update. You can see it's even more muddled as it crosses Route 27. Again, Route 27 right there. You can see the state sign. Okay, so Riley is not in any kind of danger. Looks like Oxford is not in any kind of danger at the present time. And we have other indications that there might be some other places where there's some circulation here, but we don't see anything from debris detection that makes us think a touchdown has taken place. So the National Weather Service, first of all, was watching this cell. They saw some rotation in it. They saw the rotation become a bit more concentrated. Looked like the trend was for it to spin up and cause a new tornado to touch down. We have had no confirmed reports of tornadoes in any of the warnings this evening, by the way. And so they issued the tornado warning, but now the circulation that made them issue that tornado warning is beginning to look less and less distinct and less likely that there is a touchdown possible around the area. Okay, so we're still watching from Oxford on down to near Millville. Okay, in between is McGonigle and along Route 27, and you see quite a bit of stuff here, quite a bit of area where the red and the green are juxtaposed, and that means winds going in different directions. You don't see anything really organized, and so I don't see that it looks like a tornado is about to touch down there. The tornado warning, though, is still in effect, and as I check some software here, we look at what we call shear tracks. In other words, it tracks the wind shear that causes the rotation. And the shear tracks were pretty distinct all the way up here to Riley. Okay, and that circulation continues to move, let's see here, continues to move to the north and east. And so essentially it moved this way. We no longer see shear tracks on this software. So in other words, this is saying, along with what we've observed. We just observed that there doesn't seem to be any distinct area where there's a rotation that would cause a tornado. The shear tracks that I saw on this software indicate that that has settled down. There's no longer as much shear as there was before, and there's probably not going to be a tornado. But we stay with this. Whenever there's a tornado warning out, we stay with it until the tornado warning has expired or until we're absolutely sure that there's not going to be a tornado spin up and touch down. I can't say that at this point in time, but it still indicates that there's some rotation here south and east of Oxford. It doesn't look like it's as concentrated as it needs to be for there to be a tornado spin up, and so we're going to stick with this until the National Weather Service drops the warning. Now, the warning is originally scheduled to go until 11:30. Right now it's 11:19, so it's scheduled for about 10 more minutes. Oftentimes, the National Weather Service, when it becomes obvious that the tornado warning is no longer useful, that there's not going to be a tornado touchdown, they'll drop it. They have not dropped it yet. But the tornado warning for northwestern Butler County continues. Okay, that does include Oxford. It no longer includes the Riley area. The tornado warning starts right here, just north of Riley now. Continues to, as the storm continues to move off to the northeast, they'll continue to shrink back that box. And again, I don't see much in the way that makes me think that tornado is about to touch down. And on this software also, I'm checking this. It's got a little different color table on that, so it's easier to see. But overall, here is the circulation. It does not look very distinct at this point. Does not look like a circulation that will cause a tornado to touch down. The tornado warning the National Weather Service issued is still in effect, but it's not looking like there could be a tornado touchdown any time in the near future. We don't have any confirmation that a tornado touched down earlier on when this tornado warning was issued. That just may not come until the sun's up, till people get up and about. But there are no indications that a tornado touched down during this warning either. So again, we're looking at, okay, that's another thing completely different. It's a flood advisory for Union County. But overall, again, Butler County, the northwest corner. So it does not include Riley, does not include the city of Hamilton, does not, down here, does not include Millville. 7 miles not in that. And none of the areas off to the east included in that. The city of Hamilton not included in that warning. The system continues to move to the north and east pretty soon. The circulation is going to be out of Butler County, and as soon as the warning has been dropped or it moves out of Butler County, we will go back to our regular newscast. But the tornado warning is still in effect. The circulation that was suspected to have caused the tornado, or maybe caused the tornado here, is still showing up on radar, but it's not showing up as a very strong circulation. Continues to move to the north and east. Pretty soon, that circulation will be out of our viewing area, out of Butler County, and we'll go back to our regular newscast. Let me go over here, and we'll change the radar again back to debris detection to see if there's any hint that there's any debris detection there. Again, there's nothing up there. You see around Collinsville, between Collinsville and Oxford, there's just nothing that would make a meteorologist think that there's any sign or any indication that a tornado touched down. And so we're getting pretty close to being able to go back to the newscast with the circulation itself beginning to move north and out of the viewing area. Okay, so we're still looking at debris detection here. I'm going to go back now to velocity. Velocity tells us which way the winds are blowing and how fast they are. The circulation is supposed to be moving up towards Somerville. And again, you see a couple of spots here, nothing organized, nothing concentrated. This is the circulation here crossing State Route 73 as it moves north and eastward towards Somerville. And it's just not looking like there's going to be a tornado touchdown here. And when the National Weather Service drops the warning, we will go back to our newscast, which will be here in just a couple of minutes. If they don't drop the warning, once the circulation is out of the county and out of our viewing area, we will go back to that again. So one more time, I don't see... looking at the software, I do not see anything that makes me think that a tornado is about to touch down. We can go back to radar and see what the radar itself looks like. And again, none of the indications that we often look for a tornado to form and touch down. In other words, we look for those inflow notches. You see a few notches around here like that. You just don't see anything other than a thunderstorm with really heavy rain and maybe a little bit of broad scale rotation. Ashley Smith and I talked about this earlier when we were doing coverage of the tornado warnings, that some of those storms had big, broad rotations. To get a tornado, you've got to have a concentrated area of intense rotation. And that usually happens when you have a big storm that's rotating more slowly, and eventually through the updraft, it concentrates that rotation. And because it's so intense, you can pick it up on different radar tools. This is just the rainfall rate. You can often see indications of a inflow notch. For example, you see a distinct notch where the air is flowing into the storm. That's an indication, but you just don't see that here. And again, I just don't see anything that makes me think that a tornado is about to touch down in Butler County. So let's, one more time, take a look at the velocity. Well, maybe not one more time, just this time. Let's go ahead and take a look at the velocity again. And you can see that when you look up toward between Collinsville, Somerville, and Oxford, there's just nothing there. I mean, there really isn't. You do see a little circulation over here north of Oxford, but that came in from the south. That is not part of the warning. This is not part of the warning. There was a concentrated area here, but you can see patches of green, patches of red. Overall, as the circulation moves north, I think we're going to end up with a warning that's not going to generate a tornado as it moves out of the viewing area. We will be with this for just a couple more minutes, and then we will go back to what's left of our newscast. And that will be just a few minutes of programming because we've just about taken up the entire time. However, if you look in northern Butler County, there's nothing there that makes you think a tornado may touch down or has touched down. When you look now, there is, okay, just as I say that, and this is actually out of our viewing area, what we're looking at here is, this is Butler County. This is the Preble County, Butler County line. There's College Corner right on the state line. And there are a few indications up this way that there may be a little lofted debris, but there's nothing, again, concentrated. It's kind of in a circular area that makes you think of a tornado that may touch down around the tri-state. So what I'm going to do, since I don't see anything that makes me think that a tornado is about to touch down, I'm going to throw it back to the anchor desk, and they're going to regroup and we figure out where we go from here. So back over to Tricia and Rob.